Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Shadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Shadma. Banda Mohe Savajana Mate. Banda mohe savadana mate. Jahara prasade bai e bhavachariya jai. Jahara prasade bai e bhavachariya jai. Krishna prapti hoya hoite. Krishna prapti hoya hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Koriya Aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Koriya Aikya. Arana Koriya Mane Asha. Arana Koriya Mane Asha. Shri Guru Charana Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charana Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Chakudan dilo de janme janme prabhu se. Chakudan dilo de janme janme prabhu se. Divya gyan hriday prakashita. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita Prema Bhakti Aha Hote Avidya Vinasha Jate Prema Bhakti Aha Hote Avidya Vinasha Jate Vedagaya Haracharita Vedagaya Haracharita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokara Jivana Lokanath Lokara Jivana Ha Prabhu Gorodaya Deha Mare Pada Chaya Ha Prabhu Gorodaya Deha Mare Pada Chaya Ha Prabhu Gorodaya Deha Mare Pada Chaya Evegas Gosho Kribhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everybody, clap your hands. Louder. Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everybody, louder. Louder. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Keep clapping, everybody.
Krishna Krishna,
Louder.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki!
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravijacharya Astoro Tishimat, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravijacharya Astoro Tishimat, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Anantikoti Vaishnavrinda Ki. Naam Acharya Siradas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Navadip Dham Ki. Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya Ki. Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So we'll have Nishinga pray. No say. The end. Okay, we'll speak now. Huh? Introduction. Okay.
Hare Krishna to one and all. Welcome to today's Sunday Love Feast program. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday morning. If there's anyone joining us for the Sunday Love Feast program for the very first time, or they're coming to the Shri Shri Radha Radhanath temple for the first time, a very warm welcome to you. It is my honor and privilege in introducing our speaker for this morning, His Grace Raghunath Bhatta. Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. He is a resident of the Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Temple in Durban and serves as a teacher at the Bhaktivedanta College of Education and Culture. He has a deep passion for Harinam and book distribution, but is also well versed in the Vedic scriptures. He is an active preacher and inspiration to many. Many of us will know Prabhu for his jubilance, his happy smile that he always has on his face, and his energy and his ecstatic kirtans. So Prabhu's topic for today is your mind, friend or enemy. A humble request to please switch off cell phones or turn them to silent mode. I now hand you over to His Grace Raghunath Bhatta. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all of you. Can you hear me there in the back? Okay. So I was just thinking what I'm going to be talking about today, and I thought we'll leave it open We meant to talk about the mind, the friend or the enemy. We could talk about that also, but we'll leave it open because we have some new people. Yeah, we just have Francis van Wyk here. Could stand up. Is Francis van Wyk? So we were in Harinam yesterday, chanting Hare Krishna. And when we went past, he was at his house. And we went down the road, and when we were coming back, he was waiting for us at the gate. So we gave him a book, and we invited him to the temple, and he's here today. So thank you very much. Okay. I'll just chant for a few minutes, and then we could speak a little. So we will leave it open to Virabhadra, I think, for some questions freely, as well as I'll speak a little, and we'll leave it to you to ask whatever you like. Okay? Is that okay? I'm asking. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Loudly, everybody, with all your heart. Okay. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravijacharya Storu Shishimat, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravijacharya Astoru Shishimat, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantikoti Vaishnavrinda Ki. Naam Acharya Saridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Hisi Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Navadip Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So thank you very much. Melvin, thank you. Thank you for coming. His Melvin there is actually from a Christian background. He follows Christianity, but he somehow appreciates us also. And I was giving a talk some weeks back, and he was sitting in the back there, and I was speaking on a subject matter which probably many people didn't get, but he got the gist of it and figured out what I was speaking about. Thank you very much. It's a topic that affects all of us. So anyway, we're going to speak a little bit I thought of just speaking a little bit from the Bhagavad Gita, specifically the 3rd chapter, and then moving on to the 6th chapter, which deals with the mind. So, everybody has a mind here, right? So, you're going to all tell me about the mind, something about the mind today? Okay. So, in the Gita, it's explained in the 3rd chapter that sometimes we act very sinfully and, against we really don't like doing it. It's out of force. And there is something that causes that. We blame so many people. Oh, it's because of this person we are behaving in a particular way. But the Gita explains that our only enemy is lust. Lust is that enemy, who is that force which impels us to act sinfully. And that is born out of the mode of passion. And Lord Krishna explains that's the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Just a 4-letter word. What's the other 4-letter word you like? Love, L-O-V-E. But lust, yes. So I'm just running through just paraphrasing a few verses. I won't get into the details because it's very detailed. But we will, and it goes on to speak about how it covers us, how lust covers us in different layers. And Krishna gives different analogies, and we won't discuss the analogy. But he says, in this human form of life, it is possible to overcome that. It's possible. And then he describes further characteristics of lust, which covers our consciousness. We're never satisfied, and we're always hungry for more and more. And then he goes on to explain from 40 to 43 that the theme is how to conquer this enemy. How to conquer this enemy. Now, if you want to conquer your enemy, you should know where they are situated, isn't it? So where do you think this enemy is situated? Lust. In the mind. In the senses, the mind, and intelligence. These 3 places, this enemy lust is there. So Krishna explains that in 3 verses. And again, we won't go into detail. But then he goes on explaining towards the end, to the second last verse. He speaks about a hierarchy of the sitting places of this lust. And it's described, working senses are superior to dull matter. Dull matter means the body. So the senses is higher than the body. Then the higher than the senses is the mind. The mind. Because the mind is like one of the senses, but the 6th sense. So higher than the mind is the intelligence. And higher than the intelligence is the soul. So that's the hierarchy, which means that's you, the soul, you, the spirit soul within this body. You're not white, you're not black. You're the soul within this body. You, with your intelligence, should control your mind, which ultimately will control the senses. But we had a situation is reversed. You got it? The senses are pulling you everywhere. Like lots of people were thinking of coming to the Hare Krishna movement. It is too cold, or whatever reason. You're not here. So that's the hierarchy that's given. But then Krishna also explains how to overcome that. How to overcome that in the last text. It's by deliberate spiritual intelligence. You have to study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness. By engaging in spiritual activities, you can conquer lust, which ultimately you will conquer the mind. Meaning you will conquer the mind. So how many of y'all are in that situation where you control your mind you got it under control, you have no problems? Is anybody here who in that situation? No, there is some people. Niran, you give him the microphone. We'll ask him. He wants to comment. He's in that situation. So we will speak about it. Yes, Prabhu. What you wanted to say? You have to be brief, but
Haribol, our enemy is not so much outside. Actually, it's within us. And what Prabhu is telling us is to look for that enemy right within ourselves, not to project.
okay.
Very, very important.
Thank you. Good. Yes, the enemy is within you. It's right within us. It's not far away. The neighbor is not your enemy. Your neighbor is is in you. It's in you. So that is there. So Krishna has described that in the 3rd chapter. But then talking about the mind, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very beautiful verse, which I read, a long time ago, but it came to mind now, and I'll read it. Therefore, my dear king, the living entity who has a subtle mental covering develops all kinds of thoughts and images because of his previous body. Take this from me as certain. There is no possibility of concocting anything mentally without having perceived it in the previous body. This is from the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is saying that the mind is subtle. It's subtle. What's the meaning of subtle? Can you show me your mind? No. It's subtle. So the mind is subtle. And all kind of things the thoughts that come into your mind, it's not concocted. It must have happened previously. That is, you can't get it from nothing. It's not coming from nothing. That makes sense? All images, sometimes you dream that you are flying. In this lifetime, you have never flew. But in the previous life, you could have been a bird. In previous life, you could be anything else. And you were flying. So therefore, you experience it. You always say, oh, it's nothing. What's the meaning of nothing? What does it mean? Like even in Buddhism, we met Van Veek, he was talking a little bit about Buddhism. In Buddhism, people think that they will become nothing in the next life. There'll be nothing. But no, the soul is eternal and it lives on. And you go to another body. So coming close to nothingness, and I was explaining this to one African couple who had come to see us here, and I was explaining them that I was showing them, they were looking at the chart of how creation takes place. And there's a river that divides the spiritual world from the material world. And that river is called Viraja. And the Viraja, that is where you come close to nothingness. That's the meaning of nothingness. In between, you're neither here nor there. That's nothingness. So it's a very, the scriptures, the Vedic scriptures explains everything. So it's talking about, it goes on to explain, and there's a purport to it. It speaks about, how the living entity comes into this material world, and in this material atmosphere, it has this subtle vehicle. This subtle vehicle is in the form of the mind. It's a vehicle which is a stockpile of all kinds of material desires. It's a stockpile, and such desires become manifest in different bodily forms. So you may have different forms, you have different desires. Just like one has a pig's body. A pig has certain desires. If you give a pig some halwa, it won't eat. If you give him some sweet meats, it will not eat. But if you give him some dirt, it'll eat. That's what it desires to eat. It has a particular body. So you're given a particular body according to your desires. So the conclusion is that the mind is a storehouse of past desires. And also we have this present body due to our past desire. Similarly, whatever we desire in the present body will be expressed in the future body. Thus the mind is the source of different kind of bodies. We have 3 bodies. This is the gross body that we're looking at. We have a subtle body which consists of the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego. That's the second body. And the third body is the spiritual body. So this body is covered by the gross body, the subtle body. The spiritual body is covered at the moment. So the mind can be purified by an engagement in Krishna consciousness. An engagement, even if you're coming from other faiths, also whatever you're doing, but spiritual. You engage in spirituality. And if one is engaged in devotional service of the Lord, he is considered to be a liberated soul in this life. One who engages in this transcendental loving service or transcendental service of the Lord in body, mind, and words is to be considered a liberated in all conditions of material existence. The Krishna consciousness movement is based on this principle. We teach people how to absorb themselves always in the service of the Lord and come to their natural position. So when one is totally absorbed in spirituality, then you could consider that he is more or less liberated. And this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. There's a beautiful verse, Mamcha yo avivicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at one transcends the modes of material nature and comes to that level of Brahman, that spiritual nature. He comes to that spiritual nature. Therefore, the devotee works and tries to come above the modes of passion and ignorance and become pure, a pure devotee. So what we're aspiring to become, we don't want to become we want to rise above the level of goodness. Many people are good. There's a lot of people who are not practicing spirituality, and they're good people in different ways. But when one rises above goodness, that is a pure devotee. So do you want to be in goodness, or do you want to be a pure devotee? A pure devotee. Sure. So my question to you, what is the difference between the mind and the intelligence? Both are subtle. Can you show me your intelligence? Can you show me your mind? Yes, can you show me? No. So what's the difference? Both the mind and the intelligence are material elements, and they are part of that subtle body that I was talking about. Okay, the function of the mind is to accept and reject different courses of action. Isn't it? That's what it does. It says, I should go there. Then you say, well, I shouldn't go there. I should go there. I should give up eating meat. I shouldn't. What about the vitamins? My body. You'll deliberate, isn't it? So, like that, you suffer acceptance and rejection. So that's the function of the mind. But the intelligence, intelligent, Sisi Raghunath ki. So what is the intelligence? The intelligence consists of knowledge, memory, and the power of discrimination. You can discriminate. That is what the intelligence is used for. So there's so much to talk just about the mind, the intelligence, the senses. And the Bhagavad Gita is giving a very detailed description, and I won't discuss it that much. But however, the Bhagavad Gita gives a clear understanding of the mind. And it's like a 3-level model. So let's mention that. The body is our visible material covering. We feed it, we dress it, we identify ourselves with our body. But the mind is subtle material mechanism that interfaces between us, the living entity, the soul, and the gross body. That is the mind. You got it? What's the meaning of interfaces? Like interact. What is it, teacher? Said it. That's right. Okay, interact. Between the soul and the gross body. So the soul is the essence of who we are. We are the soul. And the soul is a source of consciousness that makes the body and the mind seem to be alive. But their body and the mind are material elements. It seems to be alive. Agree, Fanway? It seems to be alive. So, the Gita gave wisdoms which differentiates the two. And listen to this very carefully. The soul is the root of consciousness, R-O-O-T. Whereas the mind is the R-O-U-T-E of consciousness. You got it? That's the difference. So we first have to understand the mind. So the mind is the medium through which the soul interacts with the body and the world outside. And the soul is conscious, whereas the mind, being material, is not. It merely reflects the soul's consciousness. Now, to better understand this, like maybe more in computer terms, how the mind shapes the soul, the body, that interaction, let us use that example of a computer as a metaphor. We can compare the body to be the hardware. The mind is the software. The mind is in the region of the heart. And the soul is the user. So you have the user like that. The software and the hardware. So it's all stored. All these thoughts, all these experiences are stored. These impressions are stored there in that mind. So what happened? There's so much to say, and we don't have it. Does anybody have any questions so far? So therefore we behave in a particular way. Whatever thoughts and desires we have are all stored, and we act in a particular way. So then The Gita explains in the 6th chapter, which talks about the mind. It urges us to use our intelligence to restrain and refocus the mind wherever it wanders. So when the mind is wandering, what do? Do you bring it back? How do you do it? When your mind is wandering, how do you bring it back? Is that it? You let it wander? So it's also explained, from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it under the control of the self. But sometimes you find the mind overtakes the person, because nowadays the biggest business, or the even psychologists are even more busier than medical practitioners, other medical practitioners or general practitioners. They're so busy because it's dealing with the mind. So there is something that I wanted to discuss, but I will leave that out. But we'll get into the discussion for somebody who's conquered the mind. I will speak about it more. For somebody who's conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So therefore you have to conquer the mind. Okay, let me just pass this because we'll have to take a lot of questions. Okay, so I just want to read something that I have here. When the mind becomes captivated by some unhealthy fancy and wants us to act it out, it initially has to speak in the second person. Why don't you do that? You will enjoy it. You need a break. You need some fun. Does this how the mind function? At this stage, we sense that something within us is prompting us towards some unwholesome indulgence. Though the voice may be insistent, we are still aware that it is different from us. The mind is still speaking in the second person, like somebody is talking to us from within. But it's all our desires and thoughts that are stored. Do you all have this experience? There's like an inner voice. Somebody is speaking to you. It happens to all of us. However, if we listen to the proposals of the mind, we give it the chance. We give it a chance. And then what happens? It overtakes us. And sooner or later, soon sometimes in a matter of moments, the mind starts speaking in the first person. I want to enjoy that. Now it's changed you. It overcame your intelligence. Isn't it? I want to enjoy that. But because we have taken, or because, so because we've been so long, we conditioned in this body, and that mind has been traveling over lifetimes, we mistake its voice to be our own voice. We think, oh yes, it's me, it's my own voice. Do you have this experience? So this is the mind. Well, you're not discriminating. I'll come to that point of discrimination now. That's a good question. Once we take ownership of the mind's desires, then all our inner safeguards crumbles. We end up doing something foolish that is self-destructive. It meaning that it overtakes the intelligence. You cannot discriminate because the power of discrimination is left to the intelligence. So then, I will describe self-destruction. And this is a verse I liked very much. While contemplating on the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And for such attachment, from such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. You got it? It goes like that. Then the next one is anger arises. And then from anger, then you fall into illusion, you lose your intelligence, and then one falls down. So there are many stages, and we'll go through the stages. The first stage is you contemplate on something. The same verse, we're breaking it down. Diato, contemplation. And the example we're using about an alcoholic. Just say, for example, yesterday we had this opportunity, we said, this devotee had a bottle of Johnny Walker. So the man was so inspired, he started glowing. Isn't it? He started glowing. And he said, give it to me, So anyway, the alcoholics start considering the prospect of drinking. They say, look at that. Doesn't that look good? First he's contemplating. Then there's attraction for it. It's that same verse from the Gita we are applying. Sangha. He gets attracted. He starts feeling that the drink will be enjoyable. It's nice. You can relax. You can enjoy. That's the second stage. I don't know anybody take intoxication. Yeah, I hope I'm not offending y'all, but y'all are on the Realize platform. Y'all know this thing. So then what happens? Like it comes to karma. Karma means obsession. You get an obsession for it, and he starts feeling that strong infatuation. He's infatuated by it. I want it, and I want it now. But he hasn't got the money to get it. So what happens? He gets angry. Then anger comes, krodha, irritation. He starts feeling irritated at anything that stopped him from getting it. Who can stop me from doing what I want? He starts thinking, who can stop me? Then comes delusion. He's completely confused about what is good and what is bad. I don't need anyone's advice. I know what to do. Then comes the next stage. Smriti Brahmsad. Oblivion. He forgets the hangover, the bondage, the misery. Because once you take alcohol, the next day, I don't know, the people, they have a term for they use, I think called cure or something. It's called that, cure. After you have anyway, it's called cure. You're outdated, but actually, cure, is caused, whatever misery has caused. So, but there's so much pleasure, why should I not enjoy? So then he loses that intelligence. That point, after that, from this point, he becomes like a little stupid. He loses. Buddhi naso, he loses the intelligence. That's from the second chapter, 61, 62. He loses his intellectual capacity to discern before acting, and decides to act on the spur of the moment. I'm going to drink right now. So he's acting on it. So it was that inner voice that was speaking in that second person. Now it's him in the first person. Now he's acting. So what happened? Destruction, pranasyati. He falls headlong in a relapse and wallows into it till he wakes up with an awful headache and throws up in the washroom and what have you. This is what you call, this is how the mind functions. Is that true? I have to ask both sides, because nowadays also ladies take intoxication. So when I was young, I used to go into the, grew up in the city, so we should go into the pubs and chase the ladies out of the pub. I never drank in my life, but this is what we used to do. We should go in groups and chase people out from the pubs, especially ladies. But then when I became a devotee, then I realized, no, you can, actually, it's more than that. You can't, they'll go back and do it. Even if you chase them out, they'll still go back because they cannot control their senses, because their mind has overcome them. So that is how it works. There's more to say, but I'm looking for time. I'm going to give you some time to ask questions. So thereafter, we feel angry, and after you have had some intoxication, you're miserable. How do you all feel? Y'all can explain. How do you all feel? Anybody? You didn't take intoxication? No, you all did well. You all the saints. Good. Well done. Niren, you? Very good. Okay. So this is the mind. So we're talking about your mind can be your best friend and it can be your enemy. So how could it be your friend? What do you with your mind? Do you ignore your mind, or you carry on following your mind, whatever your mind tells you to do? Yeah. So therefore, in spiritual life, we have teachers, like we have teachers who, when we went to school, we have teachers who taught us, don't do this, don't do that. I had a wonderful teacher. I must say he was probably the best teacher that I ever had. But, I never, in my life I've never smoked, gambled, drank, or done those type of things. So I don't know much about it, what it is like. But then I left school and I had to work, and my teacher, he got promoted to where I was working, because I worked for the education department, and he also came to the education department, was working. He was very good, I must say. I really liked him. But when I walked into the lift, he was smoking a cigarette. So as soon as he saw me, he put it in the back. So the smoke was coming out from the top to the back. So that he didn't know what to do, because he knew it was wrong, but at the same time he couldn't control his senses. His mind had overtaken him, and he was smoking. And but then when I opened the lift, I put my head outside to see whether he's going to take another puff. So it's like that. We may have knowledge, we may have material knowledge, but we may not be able to control the mind, our senses. We don't have that purified intelligence to do that. So the acharyas, the teachers, the spiritual teachers, they teach you not to do these things. And they tell you how not to do it, how you have to connect to God. When you connect, you see that hierarchy we were speaking about, the soul now needs to connect to somebody higher. So he connects to the spiritual teacher or the spiritual mentor, and that spiritual mentor is connected to his spiritual mentor, and we go all the way back to Krishna, to God. And that way, we get that purity or that energy to control our senses. Otherwise, it's not possible. The The mind from time to time will tell you, do this, do that. But we can always tell our mind, thank you for sharing, but it's okay. We won't look into it too deeply, but thank you for sharing. Because the mind is constantly nagging you. What are you thinking of now? When this fellow going to stop? Isn't it, Melvin? Sometimes when you have your sermon is going for too long and the guy is gone for some hours. Yeah. In ISKCON we do like this, you have to cut. Anyway, yeah. So the mind is like that, it's often nagging us. But the thing is, there's so many things, there's so many, so much of, I don't know how to say it, but so much of dirt is in the heart. Because that's where the mind is. The mind is that stockpile of all those desires. We often say that when we talk about the mind, we're talking about we point to the head, but that's the brain, right? But it's in the region of the heart. Because often you would say, that person is going to the Hare Krishna temple, but his heart is not clean. You say that, isn't it? That fellow is running to the temple, but his heart is not clean. Yes, we're going to clean our heart. That's right. That's what we're doing. We're coming, we force ourselves to clean our heart, and we're cleansing our heart. So one of the things is that we have to change our beliefs. And and I'll read this. People often believe they cannot forgive until their offender apologizes. You'll have this problem? And that is, but if they change this belief to, I can take responsibility to forgive even if my offender doesn't apologize, they immediately find that they can start to let go. Because a lot of things, what you have in your mind, you have a court case in your mind. Do you all have court cases in your mind? You'll play two people, that fellow, the person who offended you, and how you're responding. Do you have that? That's all happening in the mind. So therefore, it's the mind is polluted. It's polluted, and these things we have to let it go. And these things hold us back in our Krishna consciousness. We have so much of bad feelings toward other people. And sometimes people do bad things. And they may do it out of envy. It's out of enviousness. But even if they do it out of envy, just leave it. Can you do that? I'm asking the question. Can you do that? Huh? Not all the time. Some you can let go, some is okay. Which one you holding? She's a lovely lady, I know for decades. So she always tells what she feels also, which is good. Yeah. So you're holding something, but you wouldn't let it go. That is a court case in the mind. Anybody say something? What's that? Yeah, it's like that. So another way of dealing with the mind is to examine the beliefs that are behind your thoughts and actions. You have to changing a belief will change the thought associated with that belief. If you have negative thoughts, it is likely you will hold a lot of negative beliefs. Okay, we have some questions here. We'll take some questions. But there's so much to say. You must listen to some bhajans, especially Bhaja Hure Mane by Govinda Das, which talks about the mind. And when you start listening to these bhajans, and you read this, the English translations, and try to apply this to our own lives. See, the mind can be your friend and it can be your enemy. So when you're coming to the Hare Krishna temple, the mind is your, and if you're going to the casino, the mind is your enemy. Okay? So you have to look at it like that. But sometimes people, there was one devotee, he was going to the casino, all of a sudden he took a turn and he came to the temple. That can also happen, and became a devotee. So, but desire properly, desire spirituality. But emotions, there's so much to talk. There's a whole topic. We will continue it some other time. We can talk about, there's certain things that you're holding in your heart. Forgiveness is important. You must be able to forgive the other person. Then you're free from it. Then you won't battle with it. Yes. Give it the microphone. No, others want, online they want to hear you. Your enemy wants to hear you also, if he's not here.
Sorry, Prabhu, we spoke about whether we hold things within us and sometimes we forgive. We can always forgive, but we cannot forget. We have to be cautious.
See, if you're forgiving and you're not forgetting, is meaning you're not forgiving. Because you'll remember the bad things.
Yeah, but Prabhu, that's my problem.
That's
like
good.
I will forgive, but
not forget.
I won't forget. I'll be cautious and remember I have to be careful.
See, forgiveness must be wholeheartedly done, that you don't hold anything back, because that's the best way to forgive. Like I remember there was one person, one very senior devotee, said that one day he was forgiving everybody, but then he couldn't forgive one person. And he was wondering why. So he went to another devotee, he went to another senior devotee, who was, I think, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He went to him and told him, I managed to forgive everybody, but I couldn't forgive this one person. He said, because that person is still offending you. That's why you can't forgive him. That is why you can't really forgive him. So he said later, that person called and said he wanted to visit him, that person who offended, the offender. Now the devotee is thinking, hey, he don't want him to come. He was not happy for him to come. But anyway, when the devotee came, they dealt with the matter, very, like in an open way. Examining all points and from all angles. And when it was done, then he forgave the person unreservedly, with no reservations. So that must be done. Otherwise, you're harboring this, that will be the thing that will hold you at the time of death. That will be one of the things.
Prabhu, but sometimes if you fully forgive, we do fully forgive, but the other side that we may be offended with will say like she's very forgiving, and they will continue like doing the wrongs that they're doing.
But then you see, then you have to leave it to Lord Krishna. Then you have to leave it to let Lord Krishna deal with it. You can't deal with it. You can not associate with them intimately, exactly. But at the same time you don't have, because you say the thing is forgiveness means like wholeheartedly doing it. Because if you're keeping a little bit inside, that's going to affect you. When you're chanting too, you'll be thinking about it, isn't it? When you're chanting, you think, hey, that person is coming in your mind, sister-in-law is coming in your mind, or whatever. So, you know how it works. Raghunath Bhatta is intuitive a little. Anyway, it comes in your mind. So I think, it requires that mature discussion. But just forgive the person and let Krishna deal with that rest, that part of it. Because people hold a lot of things and they're fighting in their mind. That mind is now your enemy. And then you're trying to do some Krishna conscious things, but it's coming up all the time. You know? So make the mind your friend by forgiving. And like even, anger, because generally people are angry. And it's there in the Bhagavatam, to overcome anger. Do you know how to overcome anger? Is by forgiveness. It's there in the Bhagavatam. How's that?
Good.
Right?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I'm going to work on that.
Work on that. Just work on it, because the end that will be there, it'll be holding you. There was one devotee was explaining once, there was two people who didn't talk with each other because they had some discord. And they weren't speaking, they were in Mayapur. And the one decided one morning, hey, I have to go and beg for forgiveness. And then the person got the courage, went. Now in India they have a chokidar. Chokidar means one security guard. So the security guard goes, no, you can't see the person. But the person in the inside can hear that person outside and knows the person's voice because they were friends. I said, no, let the person in. So when the person came in, he wanted to beg for forgive. He said, no time for forgive. I'm leaving my body now. To just chant Hare Krishna, now I'm leaving, you have to help me now. You get it? So that was good. It was that person took the initiative to go at the end, and the person was going back to Godhead. So, okay,
Thank
so
you,
I'll just
Prabhu.
answer
Thank
some of this question. All glories to you on Guru Purnima, Prabhu. Thank you for guiding us all for so many years, so that there's hope to conquer the mind and attain pure devotional service. Thank you for that nice message. Guru Purnima today. Well, generally Guru Purnima is to the spiritual master, to Vyasadeva. We have Guru Purnima every day. We worship in Prabhupada every day, who's connected to the line. And generally we worship Sanatan Goswami on Guru Purnima. He's honored as one of our spiritual masters. Haribol, the biggest fool is one who makes friends with the material mind. But to read Bhagavad Gita as it is the greatest personality. Is the greatest personality. Why not? So what's the question here? Who asked this? I can just clarify. I really don't know what. You wrote it? Yes, Niren. The biggest fool is one who makes friends with the material mind. Sure. Yeah, but to read Bhagavad Gita as it is the greatest personality. Why not? Yeah, you should read. When you read Bhagavad Gita, your mind and your heart gets cleansed.
Exactly.
Just by reading Bhagavad Gita. Go on reading Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Please read, yeah. You know him, I met him. How many years ago I met you? Huh? 20 years. Over 2 decades ago. I was there in the book tent. I was sleeping in the Ratha Yatra site. And he came one morning and I was opening the tent very early in the morning. It must be 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And he came, then he bought every book on the shelf. And then later, he came, from that time, he came for every Ratha Yatra. And he always bought books and read and read and read. And becoming purified. And his father was a school psychologist, Dr. Tilak. Dr. Tilak, right? So Dr. Tilak, I worked with him. And Dr. Tilak, I think he was in that conversation when Prabhupada went to the University of Durban, Westville. His voice is also there. He's speaking as a recording. She's very fortunate. Okay, so one or two more questions. You see, Raghunath ki jai. There's 2 more questions, and I'll just answer this question, and then we'll lead a kirtan. Haribol, how can we remove lust and negative thoughts from the mind the next time the thoughts arrives? So there in the Gita, and I'll give the answer directly from the verse itself. 634 says, the mind, Chanchalami Mana Krishna, Pramati Balavad Ridam, Tasyaham Nigraham Manya, Vayur Eva Saduskaram. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, it is more difficult than controlling the wind. So this is the mind. But then Prabhupada, in the end, he says, in the purport, he says, the easiest way to control the mind, as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, is chanting Hare Krishna, the great mantra for deliverance in all humility. The method is prescribed. Is Savai Manas Krishna Padara Vrindayo. One must engage one's mind fully in Krishna. Only then will there remain no other engagements to agitate the mind. I think that answers the question. That's from the purport. From the purport, yeah. And there's one more. Let's see. In certain chapter, Lord Krishna says, from all the senses, he is the mind. Oh, please explain. Oh, yeah. In the 10th chapter, Krishna says he's the mind. It doesn't mean now, everything that you do, then it's Krishna. If you're going to the casino, if you're drinking, you're gambling, oh, Krishna is this is the mind. It's not like that. It means that the mind is such an amazing element that it can only be created by Krishna and not you. You get it? That's what it means. It doesn't mean that, all that rubbish in our mind, that's Krishna. No. It means that the mind is such an amazing element. It can only be created by God. That's how you have to look at it. Is it okay? So, no more questions we have. We just took a few minutes extra. But I think we're meant to lead a kirtan. Announcements first? Okay, and then we'll lead kirtan. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for such an informative class and very valuable lessons that we all should practice and try. So I just have a few announcements. August is a month of many, many festivals, and we begin August with the celebration of Women's Day. So the ISKCON Durban Women's Forum will be hosting a high tea on the 9th of August. So this is for all the beautiful Vaishnavis, Matajis sitting here. Please do join us on the 9th of August. The function will be held here at Shri Radha Raghunath. There will be mesmerizing dances taking place, eloquent speakers. There's also a cooking demo and lots of fun activities, so you do not want to miss that. Tickets are available at Raghunath Gifts shop downstairs, as well as it's available online. If you go onto the social media platforms, you can find out more about that. We have Janmashtami festival coming up in August. There's so much of exciting plans and for the festival, lots of ideas that we have. So we request everyone to please get involved. These big festivals cannot be a success without each and everybody's help. And also we're looking for sponsorships, donations. So please, this is such an auspicious time to come together, take your talents, your creativity, and offer it in the service of Lord Krishna on the most auspicious day of Janmashtami. So there will be devotees at the Prashadam tent that will be there from the festival committee to assist if you all have any questions. Also, they have receipt books. So we request everybody, please take a receipt book, make a personal pledge to try to raise as much funds as possible. They will be handing out receipt books. And they're also handing out posters with the invitation for Janmashtami. So once again, a humble request to please share this invite. Take a flyer, take a poster home, take a few if you have to, invite as many family and friends for this amazing function. Also, we have the Janmashtami Festival Lotus Market. That is on the 24th and 25th of August. We look forward to seeing everybody there. We have it all the time. I'm sure many of you all have attended. There's stalls that sell delicious prasad. There's kiddies activities. And if you're interested in being a stall, having a stall, being a vendor, you could please contact the temple and they will assist you all with that. On Saturday, the 27th of July at 10 a.m. is the monthly Sankirtan Festival. This is a very exciting service to engage in. So if you all have not come for Sankirtan before, this is the perfect opportunity. This is next week, Saturday at 10 a.m. Everyone will meet at the Prasad Maki and go on Sankirtan. Also, if you are interested in donating in the form of monthly debit orders, please see Nikunja Viharani Mataji in the front foyer, and she will be able to assist you further. If you sign up for the monthly debit orders for Shri Shri Radha Raghunath, there is also a gift that you will receive. Prashad has been very lovingly prepared by Galit's Namahasa, led by Sampati Prabhu and Vaishnavi Priya Mataji and their team. Let's give them a round of applause. So we would like to thank everybody once again for attending today's Sunday Love Feast program, and we look forward to seeing each and every one of you again with us next week Sunday. We will now observe Aarti and have ecstatic Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everybody. Hare Krishna. Clap your hands. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Everybody, clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Everybody loudly, clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hey, hey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Everybody, chant only. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Everybody, hands in the air. Ribol.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ke, Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki. Namaste Narsingaya. Pralad Lad Dhaine. Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha. Shilatankan Kala hai. Ito Nishingo Parato Nishingo. Yato Yato Yamitato Nishingo. Bahe Nishingo Ridhaye Nishingo. Narsingha Madim Sarana Prapade. Narsingha Madim Sarana Prapade. Tava Kara Kamala Bhare Nakam Adbhuta Shinga. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanabringa. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Come. Kesavadita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare. Jaya Nishingadev, 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 Jaya Nishingadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Oh, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Lakshmi Nishikadev Bhagwan ki, Bhakti Shresh Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanandi.